Young Junk! What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? Welcome to the CultPop You Can't Trust No Matter How Handsome It Is podcast, episode 90, a show where we talk about movies and TV and comics and synth wave and abs and all the other nasty things that scratch your sweet nerdy itch. We're coming to you live from Young Junk HQ.
Young Junk.
A bomb-ass podcast production space in Philadelphia, PA. I'm your host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex. It's a comic shop. You know all this. With me tonight to talk is Dylan.
Oh.
And Alice.
I'm just a little guy.
And Noel.
So last week, I participated in a Marvel quizzo.
Oh, I know. I was sad I couldn't go.
And I got second place. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I tied for second, got third.
I gave you the wrong answer.
No, that was
So
right.
when
That was correct.
Oh.
He marked it as correct.
It was Brooklyn, not Bronx.
I had Brooklyn.
Oh, good. Then I was right.
I went Brooklyn, then Bronx, then Brooklyn, then Bronx,
Okay.
and
For what?
then went back to
Where
Brooklyn.
is Captain America from?
Oh, it's Brooklyn. I
Brooklyn
knew
or
that.
Bronx?
Now, things I got wrong. What is the name of what's the code name for the operation in Avengers Endgame? Their plan, what do they call it?
Oh my God, there was a name?
Right? They're back in time.
You mean
plan.
the time heist?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Time heist.
The answer is time heist.
Ah, yeah.
Also, what's SHIELD stand for?
sassy,
Nope, you're wrong. It's over.
horny,
No.
icky.
One of the rounds too was it
Huey.
was 10 questions. It was pictures of MCU actors merged together, and you had to name both.
That's
Oh
cute.
my
Yeah.
God.
That's
I would have
cute. I
loved
like
that.
that.
So
I couldn't go because I was seeing Borderlands. I'm bitter about it still.
That's why I waited a week to talk about this. So you
With not
maybe
a
wouldn't be
single
as
junior
bitter.
mint inside.
Sorry.
Didn't happen. There
Still
you
mad
know what,
about the
though?
junior mints.
At the bar, they were serving junior mints.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Instead of peanuts,
I had a whole
just melted junior
I
mints.
literally had a whole bowl in front of me, and I was like, ew. I
Ew.
put them in the trash.
Yeah.
Because it's the trashiest, nastiest.
And they were
candy.
That's
donated
not
from
true.
the movie theater that I went to.
One of my favorite
right.
candies is the trashiest, and that's Goobers.
Yeah, that's like
Noel is mad at me when I eat Goobers. He like
they're the most boring
he won't
candy.
eat, like he
It's
won't watch
hey,
the movie. He'll just side eye me the whole time.
Can I get day old nuts that are soft, like dusty,
Yeah.
and then just put the shittiest chocolate
Old
on
chocolate
them?
on it? Yeah, like gray chocolate.
When
That'd
I
be great.
eat my chocolate covered nuts, I like to have the nut turn to dust in my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I eat one and it's like. Anyway,
What does SHIELD stand for?
Oh fuck! I don't even remember anymore. It was a strategic homeland something intervention and defense.
Yeah, or
Intervention
Meaning.
is
Shield, a broad piece of metal or another suitable material.
a
A person or
Automatic
thing
win.
providing protection.
I think you might have hit the wrong search.
Whoops.
Either way, I just
Shield
wanted,
meaning, I
I
mean,
just
you
wanted to say
searched it.
we tied for second. My team, but I answered all the questions.
Yeah.
Tied for second, but then I lost second place and got third because it was a rock paper scissors.
Ew, ew.
Aw,
Stupid.
stupid.
But one of the person that won is a regular at Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex.
Oh, is it? Who was it?
Justin.
It was Justin. He texted me.
Justin and Ginger, yeah.
Yeah, he texted me. He was like, hey, I'm going to be at the blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be going to visit Noel and Sam. I'll be there in a little bit. And then we got there. We took Kai with us. We went inside. We went, nope. And we left. It was
So-
hot and tiny. There's no place to put our 3-year-old.
You asked me, is it kid friendly? And to me, I grew up in Florida.
Like they don't set them on fire.
I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
Bars are kid friendly if they serve full meals.
Huh.
Like it's
Yeah.
just a space that's kid
not
friendly.
friendly as in where can we put him? There's
Well, hang
nowhere.
on, hang
It's
on,
all like
hang on.
seats this high.
That's why I answered the question. It's not kid friendly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's fine. I was ribbed mercilessly after you guys left by my wife and our friend. Like, why would you tell them it's kid friendly? It's not kid friendly. They can't put the kid anywhere. I'm like, it's not anti-child.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just there's
They
no
allow children in the
there's
establishment.
no space. It's not like they kicked him out. Like it's kid friendly technically, right?
I like that they ribbed you for my pleasure.
Yeah.
Nice. Also in the
Anyway.
booth, Alice and Noel, they're here. Also in the booth is Dylan. Hey,
Yeah,
Dylan,
yeah.
if anyone's that's watching or listening wants to know more about Young Chunk HQ,
Chunk.
the space and services, where can they inquire?
Well, I'll tell you where they can inquire. They can inquire by emailing me at dylan@youngjunk.com in this beautiful lower third designed by JD himself. It's
Like,
it's
tell me when.
Don't look under
Okay.
the table because I'm nude.
okay,
I'm
keep
nude
going,
from the belly button
keep
down.
going. Keep going.
My
keep
shirt just
going,
ends at my belly
Keep
button.
going. There it is. Now it's Yeah, dude, it's a lower third.
This email address right here, send nudes.
It's nudes. Before we jump into tonight's show, we want to thank you for joining us. If you're here with us live, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, get all in there, hit the bell notification so that you know when we go live and do all that nasty goodness. We'll have a little back and forth, so pipe in the chat or send us emails at cultpopgo@gmail.com. We don't have one.
We don't have an
we do
email?
have one. We do have an email. We have an email. So last week we were talking about Scream because Christopher St. Saucy, longtime fan of the show, wrote in and gave the worst ranking of Scream movies I've ever seen in my life.
Let me go last week's notes and we'll talk. Okay. So previously on Cult Pop Podcast, Christopher St. Saucy sent in his Scream ranking, and it is if only the original trilogy from best to worst, 3, 2, 1. Sacrilegious, but you know what? You're a human who has autonomous thought and feelings. It's fine. If including all 6, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1. Why 1 is your least favorite? I don't understand.
How can 1 be
considering
the least?
It's the first one. It's a little wild.
It's the best.
But anyway, yeah. And then he responded to our response to that. Do we have beef now?
No,
We have
No,
saucy
he
beef?
sent us.
We
So
have saucy
he
beef.
sent
Saucy
us
beef. That sounds
saucy
delicious.
beef. He sent us the
it was very nice.
because I said I wanted to listen to it.
Well, and also Noel and Saucy were going at it because we're under the impression that Scream 3 has the least amount of Nev Campbell time.
Mhm.
And he said, nah, dog. He listens to a podcast that actually tells you the time breakdown of certain events.
Did he send it?
And he
Sent
sent
it to us.
So, yeah. So,
And I just said, send me a Scream podcast. I need more of that in my life.
so he did. So thank you, Christopher St. Saucy. Good night.
I thought you were going to say what it is.
I can't find the email. Can you find the email?
Give me a second. It's all
Oh,
right.
vamp. Yeah. So, like, why would you have
Or maybe is this not
Scream
the
3 your
podcast? It might
favorite?
just. Oh no, it is. Episode 22 of Scream with Ryan C. Showers. He said that.
He wasn't lying. That's the name of it.
It's a serviceable movie. It's just not the best at all.
It's the worst.
It's
a
literally
serviceable
character
movie.
screen time data and new 2020 featurette.
That's neat.
2022 featurette. Excuse me.
So for tonight's main topic, we're going to revisit a favorite genre flick and a first viewing for one of us. I won't spoil who it is.
It's
But
me.
before we do that,
I will.
hey, Cult Poppers, what's
Hey.
poppin'? Alice, tell me what was poppin' for you this week.
Well, as usual, I was watching some Dropout TV, as you've all heard me talk about before. I'm a big fan.
Downloaded the app, and our book club friend Joe Ray actually gave me his login so I could watch it.
I love it. So this week I was watching the show Smarty Pants, hosted by Rekha Shankar, who's a Philadelphia native, by the way.
Huh.
I just learned that when I made sure I had her name correct,
Nice.
which I might have not pronounced it correctly, but I'm pretty sure. I know her first name's Rekha. She is in that show I talked about, Never Stop Blowing Up, the D&D game with the
Yeah.
80s action movie. But she's the host of this game, and it's basically like, have you seen people on TikTok get together with their friends and they do like a PowerPoint night where they each pick a different topic?
Yes.
This is that. She picks 3 people each week that give a different presentation on a random topic of their choosing. And it's just so fun. Because once again, they're all improv comedians.
Yeah.
Watching other improv comedians just riff and talk about a random topic of their choosing.
I saw one of these.
So they
There's
do
so...
do they pick the topics?
Yes, they pick
Okay,
their own topic,
so-
but the other people don't know what they're going to talk about. So
I'm looking some of the examples. Presidents, roller coasters, birds,
can I tell you
Mecca?
my favorites?
swing music.
Oh.
Sorry.
I like swing music.
The most recent or one of the episodes I watched was Jess Ross was talking about how wrestling, like WWE wrestling, is the same thing as drag.
Yes.
They're both gender performances. They're both extremes. They both have costumes. They have different costumes for runway. She got so into it.
Full plot lines.
Full plot lines,
So it's not
dramas,
it's not,
characters.
It's not jokes. Like they're seriously.
Sometimes they are, because the next one was Jacob Wysocki, who his presentation was which cryptid would be the best to blaze with.
Oh.
I won't spoil it for you.
I mean, it's
But-
got to be
Curious.
Mothman.
he didn't have Mothman, and I was offended.
Oh.
But somebody asked him about it. I love Mothman.
How are you going to cryptid without a Mothman?
Well, he said
also, how
Mothman would
you
get
not-
too close to the lighter, which I respect the answer.
God damn it.
He would get too close to the flame.
I mean, if he's got it in his mouth, if he's got the joint in his mouth, sure.
That's a good bit.
But
It was a funny bit.
also,
funny
do you
bit.
just like hold it, or hold the lighter open the whole time?
Mhm. So your answer is Mothman. What's your answer?
Mothman.
Yeah, I would say Mothman too. I respected his answer though, and he had a lot of cryptids, and he had pros and cons for each one.
Name 3 cryptids right now.
Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Frogman, Jersey Devil. I'm going
Frogman?
Frogman.
Isn't there a
Frogman?
Florida one too?
Yeah, there's a Florida one. I can't remember.
not-
Florida's just land of
It's not
cryptids.
Frogman. There's another one. It's like Bushman or something. There's a Florida one.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of
The
vibe
Florida
with.
man is a cryptid.
It's true.
I kind of vibe with Loch Ness.
Loch Ness.
Like if he's like, I'm picturing him kind of just floating on the top of the loch,
Mhm.
I picture
and he's got his little neck up, and I'm
Mhm.
just kind of laying on his back, and there's like nice lake
Yeah, but
around
he
us, and we're
had-
just kind of
he had like a definition for what a good smoke sesh would be for him.
yeah.
Can I throw this out there though?
What?
Don't you feel like Loch Ness Nessie
Nessie, yeah,
has a female energy though?
Yeah.
sure.
I
They them. I don't care.
My Nessie has a female energy, so I'm just like I'm gonna hang out with her. We like
Mhm.
float,
Yeah.
Yeah.
play some like Janelle Monáe.
That's
couple of
okay.
drinks.
So he had like
Just
he
a couple
got
drinks with
into
Nessie,
it.
like up in the loch, just like fucking
Up in the loch.
It was a
Yeah,
ridiculous
it's fine.
topic, but he got into it. He's like, I'm going to define what a chill smoke session is. It's not a kickback. It's not a party. We're limiting it to like 6 people. This is the vibe we're looking for. No intense music. And he's like, jazz is too intense. We can't have anybody who's playing. He like defined what makes
I
it a
gotta
good
watch
session
this.
for him.
This is fantastic.
Nessie.
It was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think I'm down
I think
with
I'm
it, like,
going Nessie, right?
I mean, he
I'm
had-
hanging on her back. Her
he
neck is coming
listed so
around for a
many
toke.
other
Like this,
the
cryptids.
gentle water lapping at our
she
sides.
she doesn't have digits, so like
Yeah.
her neck just comes around,
And
and
you-
you
you- whoop,
hold up,
yep, huh.
puff puff, or
Ah.
yeah, like
All right.
Or you could do
you can
the.
hot boxer.
I was gonna say like just blow it into her nostrils, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
man, I love this.
the last topic, which actually it's going to sound ridiculous, but ended up being really, really funny,
Oh, because that wasn't ridiculous.
was Katie Maravich just talked about eggs.
Eggs.
Eggs. An argument
What
for
was she?
eggs.
Oh, just that they're
Just
good.
like how versatile they are
It's
as
true.
a food, in just like having them as a food group, but also in like baking and everything,
Yeah.
and like just getting people on board with eating eggs.
My wife's got a tight 5 about eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs are very important in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's you just put an egg on it.
Yeah.
Put an
Putting
egg,
an egg on it.
mix
Love
it
it.
with an egg.
Yeah.
Have an egg with it.
Sushan,
Eggs.
that's never an option. Putting an egg on anything is never an option.
Mhm.
Hates it or allergic.
She does not like the texture of like yolk,
Mm.
and she does not like the texture of yolk when it's separate from egg white.
So no scramble.
No. That's together with egg white.
Yeah.
But if it's just yolk and egg white around it,
So no,
no like chalky yolk.
I was
and
going to say no
wet
hard
yolk.
boiled egg.
No.
Hard boiled egg or egg salad or anything.
Me, I'll get all up in. I'll make a medium. What's it called?
Medium,
over
over medium.
Over medium egg.
I almost said medium rare.
And then I'll
It's not
put
quite it.
like a piece of rye toast that's nice and crunchy.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I'll put that and I'll
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
It's over medium is not goopy enough for me.
I don't like excess goop.
So
Well, I don't like the white goop. Give me yellow goop all day, all
Well,
night.
over-
White goop, it's snot. I hate it.
Okay, so white goop that is basically over, like sunny side.
Sunny side up. Yeah.
Over easy is not supposed to be wet or runny. It's just over easy and still good. And then over medium is basically fried with a little bit of goop inside.
No.
Mhm.
I mean,
I mean, not.
That's what I
Over
like.
hard.
I learned it from
Over-
Greg's Kitchen,
Oh.
and I make it the way Greg's Kitchen makes
Oh,
it. So
I love Greg's Kitchen.
so good.
over
right?
hard is like fried
You like
and never
your-
broken, and it's basically
Yeah.
like a hard boiled
Yeah.
yolk inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
like,
Smarty Pants is good.
Smarty Pants.
no, we're still on
Excellent.
eggs.
And yeah, no. We're
Have
talking
you ever
about
taken any rice based leftover, whether it's fried rice
Mm-hmm.
or Indian rice or whatever? Put that in a hot pan with a little bit of like canola or
Mhm.
cooking spray. Let it
Avocado
like,
oil.
refry it a bit. Egg, any protein you have in the fridge,
Yeah.
hot sauce, and then you take a wrap or tortilla, plop that
Tortilla.
bitch in there.
Well, see, I haven't done that. I've done the just fry it up and I'll
Everything with an egg.
shovel it in my mouth. But
Have you ever heard of no, I'm staying on this.
topic tonight is eggs,
My bro-
everybody.
No, hang on, it's fine. We got time. Have Have you ever heard of the breakfast special? Breakfast special? Never talked about it?
What is it?
My brother.
Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day.
It's the best.
Okay.
When
I want waffles.
When my brother was in the military,
Right now.
he was stationed in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii spam is a food group.
Yes.
in Hawaii.
Yes.
I had some last week. It was good.
So,
It's fried.
the best hangover food, I guess, was called breakfast specials. What it was fluffy white rice, like cooked
I'm
to
in.
perfection.
Okay.
A slice of American cheese, just a
Okay.
slice of cheese.
I'm in.
2
On rice.
over easy eggs on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then diced burnt spam, like
Ooh.
fried so much that it's almost like crispy,
Mhm.
diced. Plop it on there. A little bit of soy. Mash it the fuck up.
Yep.
The cheese mixes with the yolk and it covers the rice, and you've got these like little chunks of.
I would house
It
that.
is so
I'm
fucking good.
hungry. Well, I don't eat meat, so the spam I'd have to skip. But it sounds
Does egg
divine.
count?
We could do.
I'm not vegan, so I eat dairy and eggs still.
Okay, cool.
Is there a meatless alternative to just canned meat?
Something real salty, probably.
It's basically all you really need is the
Yeah.
salt and like a crunchy texture,
Tempeh, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, it's fermented soybean.
But
Yeah.
even just cheese and runny egg on brown rice with some
This
seasoning.
is still going.
Sorry.
Do you not
It's so
like
good.
breakfast foods?
It's
I
so good.
love it. So Smarty Pants, people should watch it.
You know,
Smarty
on
Pants, people
Dropout
should watch
TV.
it while eating their eggs.
cut my what's poppin'. I just want to talk about.
Let's talk about eggs.
What's
Fucking,
popping? Eggs.
See, this is what happened on the show. She got up and she's like, I'm going to talk about eggs. Everybody's like, this is stupid. But then
It
it
engaged
turned into
everybody.
this.
Yeah.
everyone's got thoughts on eggs.
And and it was so funny.
I love eggs.
Get a little embryo in my diet.
I didn't say it like that. Okay, now I'm vegan.
No.
Yeah.
What was popping for you this week besides eggs?
Well, I did make breakfast special the other day. But I've been listening to a podcast.
Me too.
It was a plug / rec from
The
another
Filmcast.
podcast that we really like called Going Rogue.
One of our
Mhm.
favorites.
I am a giant nerd about film process and especially like troubled productions and how they come together. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's terrible. And this is a well-researched, really entertaining podcast by Tansy Garden, who's a journalist / just entertainment.
And she's amazing to listen to
Yeah,
because
and
she's
she's
Australian.
Australian. Yeah.
I love it.
Great accent.
Arm.
And she focuses on troubled productions. So sometimes it's one episode, sometimes it's 3 or 4, and then each one has a theme. So I listened to the Rebel Moon episodes.
Oh my
Babies.
gosh.
Both of them.
And yeah, both of them. And her thesis is very spot on that before they even put picture to frame, compromised.
Mm.
Everything was compromised because they're director's cuts, but
Yeah.
by definition, they're not director's cuts whatsoever
Mhm.
because they were intentionally created in parallel to alternate versions. of a
Director's
movie.
cuts are usually made in response to
Yes. In response to studio notes and or reception,
Interference
and
and,
you create one based off of what you've already
Yeah.
had. You can't manufacture a director's cut in this. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's stupid and funny. But the podcast gets its name from Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One, which was a notoriously troubled production
Mhm.
that begat one of the best top 3 Star Wars movies of all
So
time.
good.
Yep. It's
And
kind of a
television
miracle.
show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great podcast. It's really
it was
fun.
really good.
I love it in the
listened
weed
to it.
shit. Yeah.
So I had heard it from Jeff Kanata on the Filmcast, and so I immediately stopped that podcast so that I could, because otherwise I'd forget. I go, okay, and I'll go into my aggregator, and I found Going Rogue, and I started listening to that immediately.
I think it was Chen because he brought her on as a co-host
right.
on his podcast.
You're right, it was
But
Chen.
They all mixed together.
David Chen. They're all the same
Yeah.
dude. That's not true at all. But and then I texted Noel the link to it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I heard about that, but I forgot to look it up. Thanks for sending it to me."
Listening
So
to
yeah,
it
I
this
listened
week.
to those 2 episodes.
Oh,
It was
I'm gonna have to
great.
check that
It was
out.
awesome.
I have
Yeah,
a long-
I love that stuff. Makes me think of college. I love picking and the end result is fun, but sometimes the creation of it is more so,
Mhm.
and I love that shit.
Yeah.
How did
I
you pull
miss,
that off?
I miss
Yeah.
DVDs and Blu-rays with behind the scenes featurettes and director's commentaries. That was like my bread and butter. I love that crap.
I would rewatch movies just to listen to commentaries.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Mhm.
I would watch the movie and then just
Immediately
started
leave it.
again with the commentary.
Yeah.
Love
I
that
miss
shit.
that shit.
Ugh.
What have you been popping on
What's
your
poppin'?
I've been popping
top?
this.
Oh?
Divinity. So where was I? Oh, I went to go put on the movie with the axe.
When Evil Lurks?
When
What?
Evil Lurks. I went
was
to
gonna
go
guess
to
The
Shudder
Shining.
to watch a movie that everyone has been talking about called When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, when?
The trailer, the poster is a red poster with a black silhouette, and it's a woman on her knees. and she's
96% of Rotten Tomatoes?
I've heard it's good.
and she's holding an axe directly to her face. Very evocative poster, and I've heard nothing but good things. So I went to go put that on. But then I saw that there was a movie on Shudder called Divinity, which was in 2023, and it was directed by Eddie Alcazar. And it had a very cool poster itself, black and white. It centers on two mysterious brothers who abduct a mogul during his quest for immortality. Meanwhile, a seductive woman helps them launch a journey of self-discovery. So what got me excited was Stephen Dorff from one of my favorite not Goonies 80s movies called The Gate, and also Blade. And as well as...
Stand By Me and Explorers.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. As well as another actor from Quantum Leap.
Scott
Bakula. And so I was like,
Bakula.
ooh, let me put this on. And I turn it on and it sort of has Eraserhead vibes.
What the fuck is that picture?
Which one?
The fourth one.
I think we know.
This one?
Yeah.
That's the red carpet.
Yeah.
Just a guy.
So
just a guy in a puffer coat. My bad.
Hamana.
He's a nobody.
So I put it on and it's black and white, very high contrasty. And it feels very much like if you've seen Eraserhead. And I was like, oh, I can kind of settle into this. I could watch this. This is kind of nice. I'll watch this. And it started to grate on me pretty quickly.
Mm.
This feels like it feels like a student film. The special effects are really cool. The way it's shot is really nice. Stephen Dorff, it goes in a way that I wasn't anticipating, but it does feel a little bit like weird for weird's sake. It feels like they're just trying to say something without really saying anything.
Mm.
And I found it to be pretty infuriating as far as like, I'm wasting my time on this.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, about 3/4 of the way through, I started skipping.
Oh.
Skip. How does this end? Skip. Oh, okay. That's how it ends. Well, I'm glad I skipped. So yeah. I can't recommend it. I know there's people out there who love it because I was looking it up and there are people who think that it's amazing.
Huh.
It's not me. I don't know if I would recommend it to either of you or anyone watching this show.
Oh God.
None of that sounds interesting. And let's talk about that for 2 seconds. Skipping to the end of a movie because you don't like it.
I felt bad.
Why? Just don't watch it. Stop watching it.
Well, because I was curious to see if it wraps up in an interesting way.
Well, just read the Wikipedia. If you're not engaged enough to get there, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would even bother skipping.
Mm.
That's like listening to a podcast at 1 1/4 or 1 1/2. I'm like, why do you do that? Who does that?
I listen to audiobooks that way.
I was gonna say, don't you?
1.75.
I know people that do that. I
Yeah.
can't.
Can't do that.
I just can't
why.
because it's too quick for me.
If you listen to it at 1, it sounds
yeah.
Well, I mean,
like this to me.
Yeah, I mean, audiobooks I have problems with that are not related, but yeah, man, don't do that to yourself. If you're not,
Well, I just
jiving.
wanted to see. I'm like, maybe something will happen and I'll get re-involved. Maybe something will click. Maybe the interesting thing is happening soon.
Can you say that you experienced the movie then if you skip through some of it? Because
I feel like I'm
a
enough of the movie.
mildly a purist in regards to how they paced it out, whether it's good or not, is how they wanted you to experience it. So if that's still grading for you, fuck it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Not saying you're wrong. I was just like, I don't know if I would even bother at that point. Like how you've plotted this out, I can't stick with it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I
So,
don't even care about the ending at that point.
If I was watching Malignant and I got about a quarter of the way through the movie and started skipping
You got to that.
because I was bored, which I was. And I started skipping, and then I got to the interesting part. I would have rewound and watched the whole thing.
Mm.
Because there is a certain scene in Malignant where all of a sudden I'm engaged, and the movie is now one of my favorite things of the year because of the change that happens.
I'll still push back on that. Because
you can do whatever you want.
Well, no, I'm just like, we're having a conversation. I would still push back on that because the very first scene of the movie is that tone that you're talking about that enters into the
and then it disappears for the rest, half of the movie.
Yes. And that is a genuine concern with the movie. But the fact that he put a small movie with a different tone in the middle of, his bookmarked ending, that's a choice. And it's like, hey, this is a concept album. Listen to it all the way through and then go skip to your favorite songs, not scan, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
If anything, it's kind of like a fun topic. That's all I'm saying. There's no right or wrong. It's just, have you truly watched a movie if you felt like you had to go forward or backwards or skip pieces first time?
No, I don't think I have. I wouldn't say that I've watched it. You know what I mean?
There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just saying that is I think that's a cool topic.
I would not say that I have watched the whole movie. I would be honest and say, I skipped the rest because I was so disinterested and kind of annoyed by watching it.
And I think it's a cool topic of conversation in general in regards to if it's not working for you, are you the kind of person that, well, let me just skip to the end to see how it ends and maybe I'll want to go back, or it's not grabbing me. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think those are two perfectly reasonable things.
Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Would you, Alice?
Yeah.
I've done what you've done, where if I'm not into it, I'll pause it and I'll read on Wikipedia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I want to know, does that ruin the movie for you? Like if you read it and you're like, oh, this seems interesting, but then you go back to watch it, is it like, well, now I spoiled it? Do you still enjoy the movie?
At least while I'm skipping, I can go, this looks like it's getting interesting.
Because I've never thought about doing that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm a weird, I wouldn't even call it purist, just more, I don't know. I feel old in my habits also, but all the time, my time, even when I have extra of it, I don't want to waste it. Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not enjoying something, I don't. And then if I pause it and it wasn't digging it, and somebody tells me, "Oh fuck, you got to get to at least this."
That's when it gets good.
Yeah.
Then I'll go back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I won't bother fast forwarding or read the end or anything like that.
Because I haven't had things I'll spoil things for myself on Wikipedia because I've talked about it before. I have certain triggers because of work. So before I go see a movie, I'm like, all right, let me see what's this seems like it might be upsetting, but I still want to see it, and I'll read it and I'll spoil it for myself. But then I'll still genuinely enjoy the movie.
That's fair.
And I was just wondering.
That's hyper specific though.
Yeah.
That's a part of, you have triggers too.
If I have an inkling of
this,
it might go this direction.
Your spidey sense is tingling. You're like, this.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
Which was one of the questions at Quizzo. In the MCU, what do they call the spider sense? And everyone at my
Peter
table,
Tingle.
Everyone at my table was like Tingle. I'm like, Peter Tingle.
It has
Peter, are you sure it's? I think it's just Tingle.
It's
I think
Peter Tingle. Please don't call it that.
Peter Tingle. It's Peter Tingle, and I was right.
Is your Peter tingling?
Of course you were. Proud of you.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
If it was early and I waited till my family went to sleep, and then I put on the movie,
and then
I got on the covers with a flashlight.
Took off my pants.
And if it was early enough in the evening that I could then stop this movie and then start when evil lurks.
Yeah, you would have.
I would have been like, never mind. But it was already so late, and it was time for bed. After this, I'm going to bed.
Oh, so there was more of just a finish line at this point.
Let me just. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not worth my time. Anyway,
what
everyone should watch it. Everyone go to Shudder and watch Divinity.
Let's get those streaming numbers up. We want a sequel.
I want a sequel. Yeah. Divinity 2.
Divinity 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Was
Divinity
that
3? Oh, we got to get to Divinity, or just skip Divinity 2 and just Divinity 3.
Make everybody wonder what they missed. Did I miss a movie?
Yeah, was there a second one? I must have been. I don't know.
That movie sucked.
What?
You know what movie didn't suck?
Doesn't suck?
I'll tell you. It's The Guest from 2014, written by Simon Barrett. Has he written anything else? Do we know Simon Barrett? Tell us.
Well, keep going.
Directed by Adam Wingard of several fantastic movies. Is he the guy who did You're Next?
Yeah, so Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett have been partners for a while. They co-wrote You're Next together, The Guest, Blair Witch. He also wrote some stuff for ABCs of Death, VHS 1 and 2, and VHS 92. Yeah, these guys are like a horror duo that came up with the Radio Silence guys and that kind of like early
Death Note,
early aughts of horror resurgence. Sure. Yeah.
Also Godzilla X Kong and Godzilla vs. Kong, both delightful nonsense movies. Love it.
Baby.
I don't know how I got wind of this movie. I want to say my very good friend Noel made me watch this.
Might have been me. Yeah.
I feel like you were just like, take this and watch it. You didn't tell me anything about it.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay. And the cover just kind of looks like
it's just him handsome.
It looks like something like akin to the movie I watched last week, The Equalizer. It's like a guy with a gun, and I guess he's gonna make bad people pay.
It looks like a direct-to-video action movie.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. It does. The description is a string of mysterious deaths leads a teenager to become suspicious of a soldier who showed up on her family's doorstep and claimed to be a friend of her dead brother.
She's not a teenager. She's 20. Anyway.
She is.
So
anyway.
I made Alice watch this. I went over, Alice and Costa and I got together and watched it.
Taped her eyes open.
Yeah.
Strapped her down.
And I didn't.
Was that Bird Box?
Bird Box that bitch.
I purposely the only thing I told Alice was it's not a horror movie.
Yep.
But it's awesome, I think, right?
And I trusted. Yeah, you both had told me.
So you'd never seen a trailer or anything?
Nope.
Great.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I knew, I think you guys had told me like, oh, like he goes to this family's house. He was a soldier with their son, and like he just shows up at their house.
And he shows up
and
with a
like,
message
hey,
like I was very good friends with your son. I was there when he died. He wanted me to come here and tell you that he loves you. Tell each of the family members that he loves them, and he was thinking about them as he was passing. And he shows up on the doorstep to tell him that.
And that's
all
literally like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
then I'm like, okay, now what happens?
I found out about this movie on social media, I think. One of the film reviewers I follow. So I know about Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett, and I really loved their stuff before You're Next and something else. You're Next and VHS. I really, really liked the second VHS. That was like my favorite one. And Adam Wingard was actually the actor in that one. That was the one with the eye implant that was a camera. And he ended up taking a really cool little short film. So I was just aware of them. And then I read one of the people I follow shared about this movie. It's available. I think it's available only on VOD and limited theatrical release. It is one of the best things I've ever seen. Don't look at the trailer. Don't do this. Just watch the movie. And I was like, all right, I rented it. I bought it. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do the $9.99.
Yeah,
we'll do it. And I sat there and I watched it, and I was just gobsmacked the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And rewatching it, every rewatch since then has just been like chasing that dragon because the movie doesn't work as well when you know what's going on.
Yeah.
But there are genuine scenes in this movie where I am unaware of what's his name? Adam?
David?
David. I am unaware of David's motivations.
David.
Yeah. I'm unaware of David's motivations.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if he's going to kill right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if this scene is safe. I don't know if this person is safe, and it just happens consistently, and it's fucking awesome.
It was so good. I was trying to figure out the whole time. I'm like, is he with them or against them? Like the family. I'm like, does he genuinely want to be here, or is he just trying to manipulate? I didn't know.
And even as things are revealed, like fucked up thing happens, you can kind of wave it away.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, it's not all bad. Fucked up thing happens, learn something new. Well, maybe he's not a participant in that and is trying to get away, and he's technically the good guy. Fucked up thing happens to the point where it's just like, oh fuck, I think I have to root against David.
He might be bad.
I think he's the bad guy.
I guess we spoiled it for everybody.
Well, but even up to that point, you're like, how is he going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Like it's still fucking engaging. Sorry, this movie's 10 years old.
tough titty toenails.
Yeah.
What I like about this movie is that it starts off like a drama. It's just a drama about a family who has lost their son, and they seem to the mother and the husband, the mother and the father have lost any connection between each other. The kids are having a rough time, and this guy shows up to maybe give them some peace.
Yeah.
And I honestly was like, oh, maybe this is one of those movies.
Yeah.
And then as it goes on, it starts to get like the hand that rocks the cradle vibes of like, oh, he's teaching the kid how to fight.
Stand up for himself in school.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like a father figure that he doesn't have with his actual father because his father's on the couch drinking beer all the time. So he does. Dan Stevens is, dare I say, electrifying in this.
Yeah.
You never know which way he's going to go at any given moment. There are certain scenes where someone is talking to him and David will just look at them. And you have no idea what's going on behind those shark eyes.
There's we won't. Sorry for
We'll get to
early spoilers, but we'll get to specific spoilers later.
Yeah, we'll tell you when we actually get the actual spoilers.
It's and also too the way that the movie's constructed, a lot happens off screen, and normally that would bother me, but the way that it's covered is just really great. Like there's a scene where the father is talking about something that happened to
Yes, I was just thinking
his coworker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, David? David?
David.
Where was everybody when this happened?
Like something happens over here with the boyfriend or something happens over here and you're like,
David?
Where is he just behind this curtain the whole time? Like there's so much off screen, but it works.
Yeah.
And this is like the movie that the Lost John Carpenter movie that he didn't make in 1988, right? Like
and
it's
I feel
very aesthetically 80s.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like it works having those
Especially at
things
the end.
happen off screen because then you kind of feel like the family feels like, well, it couldn't have been him,
Right.
because like what
It wouldn't even occur to them.
Yeah,
It doesn't
like-
even occur to them.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, he's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we all recommend this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Watch, even if you're not, it's not a horror movie.
It's a
I
thriller.
still maintain it's not a horror movie.
No.
It's a thriller. If that appeals to you, watch it.
Yeah.
It's just very, very fun.
If this sounds cool at all, if what we're saying sounds cool at all, stop the show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Don't watch a trailer.
Just go watch
Go
it.
watch the movie and then come back and we'll dig in.
Yeah. So we're getting into the spoilers, right? Meow.
Leland Orser.
He is so good. Where do I know him from?
From Seven.
I picture him
And then-
being
and then-
very
and then-
sweaty
and then
and
made me fuck her. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
him.
Oh my God.
Oh, did you just realize that, Dylan?
No, that was just a really good impression of that scene. Like it brought the whole scene back. Yeah.
That scene is fucking implanted on my memory seeing in theaters of because the way that David Fincher shot that too, like you only ever saw the harness in a Polaroid off camera
Awful.
slightly.
Awful.
You've
seen
Yes, I've seen 7. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Oof.
Ugh.
That's like
But yeah, he's
Haven't in
great.
a while, but I've seen
taught
it.
in
great.
school.
Yeah.
level of movie.
Lance Reddick was in this.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in it. I was so happy when I
R.I.P.
saw him.
Lance Reddick.
I was just going to say
Love that man.
R.I.P.
John Wick. And also Kite Man. Hell yeah.
Lance Reddick is AJ Bowen is cool in this.
Mhm.
The
Maika
Ethan
Monroe.
Embry is one scene and he kills it. Ethan Embry.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, he's the gun runner. Oh, he's the gun
Oh,
salesman.
wow. Higgins, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
We didn't even mention that Maika Monroe's in this movie.
Maika Monroe. She's
Maika
great.
Monroe from...
She's the teenager
It
/
Follows.
20-year-old.
Yeah,
it follows long
Long
legs.
legs.
20-ager. And long legs, yeah. She's awesome in this.
Significant
Very
Other
young.
is another good one.
Significant
she's
Other.
in.
What's that?
Significant Other. is
That's
Oh,
another
that
good one
movie's
she's in.
awesome.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love that movie.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
It's great. I
all
watched it twice in like the same week. I loved it.
It's all right.
But what did you think of the end of this movie? Because I loved the end of it so much because it starts as a drama. It becomes The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And then it becomes like a slasher movie in a haunted house.
I just realized that probably no one listening understands the Hand That Rocks the Cradle reference.
Right, it's old.
It's too old. And it's
Rebecca
not
De
even that,
Mornay?
it's not even that popular.
What
For
what's-
us, it's
What's the
popular.
one? Single white
Single
female.
white female. There you go. There you
Even-
go.
Okay,
Even
yeah.
older.
I didn't want to
That's a
say
good
it, but I
reference.
wasn't getting it. But single white female, I get.
Yeah.
Okay. I just it just hit
Someone
me
who
like
shows up to help and then it gets
that's
creepy.
What, that's what I was
Assuming.
envisioning this movie being was a single white female. Like, he's trying to become their son.
Too.
Yeah, it was great.
Unfairly forgotten.
I always think of The Fist That Rocks the Cradle, which was a Jim Carrey skit on In Living Color, making fun of that movie. You know, he had the pigtails and the anyway. So yeah, I love the end of this movie. The aesthetic of this kind of makes it a Halloween movie for me, even though the entire 3/4 of the beginning, nothing Halloweeny about it.
It is fall.
They mention Halloween a few times.
They're carving pumpkins.
You see that scarecrow right at the beginning.
It is late September, early October.
I'm just saying it doesn't feel like
no, it's not a classic Halloween movie.
You don't watch it like, oh, this would be a Halloween movie. Yeah.
That's how fall's looking like southern states, by the way. Yeah. There's no trees for leaves to fall. There's no vibe. You were mentioning earlier something about the end. You don't know, is he with the family? Is he not with the family?
Yeah, that's how I was thinking. Like the whole movie, I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to become part of the family or if he's trying to kill everyone here in the family.
Yes. I have a theory. I watched the movie.
The answer is yes.
I watched the movie the first time and I didn't pick up on it for whatever reason. And when I was watching it at your place the other night, there's a very clear line of dialogue where he is part of a military operation that brainwashes soldiers into becoming sort of super soldiers.
Yeah.
And part of the brainwashing is if he is found out, he is not able to control whether or not he kills everybody. If he's in danger of being found out, he leaves not a trace. There's not a single witness. And so I feel like for the first half of this movie, I don't think he means the family any harm.
Yeah.
I think he's genuinely trying to help the son fight back, teach the kids a lesson who are picking on him, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not until the end of the movie when his training kicks in.
And he's like killing her.
And then he's like, I'm going to put this through your chest.
The real villain is Maika Monroe. She sets that all into effect.
Right.
Like she's the one that makes the call to find out if he's a real person, which sets off all the alarm bells to have the people from the organization,
to be fair,
3 letters.
To be fair, David does get a gun and then murder 2 people immediately.
And frames her boyfriend.
And frames the boyfriend.
But that's all a part of his programming. The fact that he has to David is not motivated by id.
Right.
David is motivated by logistics, functionality, like embed, protect self and surroundings, and then eliminate threats before they occur. Right. Yeah. So need a weapon. They know I bought a weapon from them. They have to go. Like it's not malicious. At all.
I don't think it was.
But then you also have this dichotomy where he has adopted this family as his. So I think he does like the kid, the teenager, and does try to protect him. Yeah. The best scene in this entire movie is when the kid is telling him and she's looking into this and I found out that you did this and did this, but we're good, right?
Yeah, he's I don't care, we're friends.
And just watching Dan Stevens absorb the information and just click and realize gonna have to fucking kill this kid now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then he turns on the smile. So good.
Best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. After he gets him out of expulsion by threatening the principal. I loved that scene. So good.
And yes, a grieving mom or grieving family would just believe things.
Yeah. I do. He was definitely a friend of their son.
Right.
He was in the same.
Do you think or no?
So, see, that part was a little weird to me because he kind of looks like that photo that he shows in the beginning.
That's the actor.
Yeah, exactly. But there's also the whole plot point that he went and visited a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
And killed the plastic surgeon.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I also forgot.
Fingertips. I think I was blowing up your bathroom during that. I felt so bad.
But to your point, yes, there's a I'm not going to talk about your poopies.
I was very embarrassed.
There's and we just broadcasted it. It's totally fine.
That's how I make my embarrassment go away. Is I embarrass myself further. Go on.
Eggs.
I laid one.
I was trying to make that work in my head. Like, I will avoid it by
making it
broadcasting
worse.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway, when was your last good?
Threw him off.
When was your last good bowel movement, Alice? No. Anyway.
This morning.
Yeah, those two facts,
Hope you
those two
watched.
facts can't comport, right? The fact that, like, is he actually a friend of Caleb's, or is he posing as a friend of Caleb's?
Right.
But they do reveal that Caleb was a part of the program.
Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe both.
I was
He
waiting
knew
for
enough
Caleb
about
to come.
Caleb to try and look like, I look close enough to this guy, and then a surgeon to do blah blah blah, because he said that he was in the hospital for a while and he blew that bitch up and faked his death, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I got to rewatch that scene.
Or he killed the David. He killed the original
the David that they looked up is dead.
Yes.
I thought
but
they
I
were.
thought-
I think the consensus
I
is
thought
that
what
they
he said
killed
was true,
him.
where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm part of the program," so like they say that I'm dead when
Yeah.
they like dismiss me,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
Or he was trying
maybe.
to throw them off his trail, so he faked his death.
Both things can be true.
Yeah.
If you ask about him, he is classified, he's dead. Then it flags. But he also faked his own death while
To get away from the company.
To get away from the company.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it
But
fits enough.
Did he kill
It's
the
mysterious
original
enough.
David and then get plastic surgery to become?
But he does mention that Caleb was part of the
David.
program.
And the original David didn't look like how he looks. Because you do see the original David. The original David did not have blonde hair. You
Yeah, he
see
did.
I thought he did. I thought
watched
it was
this
Dan
afternoon.
Stevens.
It's Dan Stevens. It's just like a little off.
Are you talking about the photo that
Yeah, the
he finds
photo.
Yeah.
out with the mom?
Yeah.
No, but if you look at the photo that the woman pulls up when Michael Monroe's
that doesn't look like him at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
that
woman,
photo.
Yeah.
being Candace Patton of Flash.
No.
She's Iris West
No
in
kidding.
Flash. Yeah. She's like got one scene.
But
in
she
the
pulls up the
Pentagon.
David of the name, I forget the last name, that was actually
Smith.
in that
Yeah.
group.
Oh, no kidding.
And it doesn't look like him.
I
was
guess I have to watch it
So I was
again.
like,
Oh, no.
is his name actually David? And then he changed his face to look like that? Or did he kill David
Well,
and then change? Like, I don't know.
On IMDb and also in the credits, his Dan Stevens character is listed as, quote, David.
They said that, I think Lance Reddick does say that, like, that's not actually David.
So he's not really David, but he did make himself look like somebody in Caleb's picture to embed himself with the family.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think he is was part of the group, but not the person that he pointed to
I
in
see.
the picture.
Interesting.
Because that picture probably wasn't, like, they were all smiling. That probably
Well, then-
wasn't the group.
Well, then why didn't this motherfucker come up with a different fake name than the one that he was killed off? Anyway.
See, that's another
Yeah.
question. I don't know.
Anyway,
Damn.
Questions.
it's a great movie.
It's really
It's a really
good.
great movie.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
Yeah, like
And Maika Monroe was literally like, just her to a T is how I was when I was 20.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh
Every
my
time
God.
Micah Monroe's character, Anna Peterson, would walk into a scene,
I
she's like,
had
I that's how I dressed. That was
I
me.
had that
She's-
outfit.
she's
I
got my
had that
stockings on.
scarf. I had those socks. I'm
Yeah.
like, and I wanted her room. Like I wanted to be
Knee-high.
that when I was 20. I
Knee-high
wasn't as
socks.
cool as she
Yeah.
was. I wanted to be, but I had those outfits. I'm like, the skull t-shirt or tank top thing she has, she wears to the Halloween party. I would still wear that.
That's a good outfit.
100% still
good
wear that.
movie. It's a really, really good movie. Great soundtrack. You want to talk about the soundtrack?
Oh, yeah.
So the soundtrack is awesome. Noel got it on vinyl because he's a POS for what, $70,
Something like
and
that.
now it's like worth 3 times that.
I'll look it up. You go ahead and keep talking.
I wanted to get it on vinyl just because it's such good vibes.
It was
is.
only a record store day release.
Oh, is that
And
it?
hasn't
Damn
been.
it.
Yeah.
Well, how would you describe the soundtrack, the first soundtrack?
It's like a. Is anybody familiar with the soundtrack for Drive, the film Drive?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
It's like a chunkier version of that.
Yeah.
It's less. It's got the synth ambience, but it's a little bit more percussive.
Mhm.
It's a little quicker, but it's the same vibe.
Oh, it's great. I love
This
it.
is like this movie is a great companion piece to Drive. If you want a double feature, Drive
This
with Ryan
movie's
Gosling
way
and
better
Guest.
than Drive. It's like 400 times better than Drive.
Level expectations. No, it's very different.
I just don't like Drive.
But it's got the same vibe. It's not 400 times better.
So the cool thing about the soundtrack is that people like the soundtrack so much that they decided to make an original soundtrack for The Guest 2, the sequel. However, the sequel does not exist. There is no Guest 2 film, but they decided to make a soundtrack for a non-existent movie as if it were a follow-up to Guest. So I picked that up and I'm very excited to check it out. Yeah.
I think that's such a cool idea.
Right?
I think that's really fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Crack that open and take a listen.
It's awesome. I want to talk about the ending of this movie with the school Halloween dance set.
The most expensive Halloween dance.
They have to go pick up the younger brother who's in detention for beating up a kid at school.
Yeah.
Which David taught him how to do.
Ooh, that was awesome.
Oh God.
That was awful.
Yeah. With the yardstick on his face.
Whack.
So they have to go pick him up to save him from David, who's already killed their parents. And they have to run through like a haunted house basically to get to him. And then David gets there. There's gratuitous fog. You want to talk about
gratuitous fog?
I love gratuitous fog.
There was gratuitous fog and there's haunted house stuff, and it was great.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's people actually dying. They're like in a room of mirrors trying to run away from David, and then suddenly the one teacher just falls dead in front of them, and they're like, oh my God. It
becomes
so
a slasher movie.
Yeah.
It becomes like a haunted slasher movie at the end. I love it.
He gets these freaking Michael Myers. He gets stabbed with the knife that he gave the kid.
Shot stabbed,
and then they're like, we only found 2 bodies in there. There should have been 3. And all their teeth were knocked out.
Yeah.
And then you see one fireman limping out.
Yeah.
And I wonder what happened to the fireman? Yeah, with his shark eyes.
Yeah.
What happened to the fireman whose suit he took?
Well, they did talk about there's 2 bodies inside.
Yeah.
One of them doesn't have any teeth got knocked out.
But there should have been 3 bodies.
3 bodies. They just probably haven't found it yet.
He's still he's doing like a weekend at Bernie's, but
they were like, dog, there's so much gratuitous fog in there. I can't find the other body.
We're waiting for the fire and the fog to go away. There are 5 used copies available to purchase, and they start from
this is the soundtrack for the original.
150, 120, 129, and $200.
That's stupid.
That is a lot.
It is a record. It only came out record store day in 2015.
I will never spend that much money on it.
And it was a limited edition of 1,500 pressing.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Give me yours.
Fuck no.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I arguably should sell some records, and there are some that would go for a lot. This is not one that I would sell ever.
It's good. Yeah, man. Anything else about The Guest?
I liked the scene where he's coming in at the party and he's holding the kegs and he's like, where do you want these? And they're like obviously completely empty kegs.
Yeah.
The saddest death too is the friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
At the diner?
The best scene in the whole movie is immediately after he murders her best friend and then looks around the diner and rolls the 2 grenades.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, it's a wonderful, what do they call it?
Cackling.
Yeah.
What?
I think it's Dylan, what is the movie term for an in-camera switch of like from actor to stunt or a hidden cut? It's like a Texas switch. It's a Texas switch.
Yeah,
That's
I was
what
just about to say that actually. Yeah. If you
Classic
give me one more
Texas
second, I want to say first.
That scene though is almost like a Texas switch. They hide a cut and they hide where he's walking because he rolls them and it looks like a single shot of him coming out the double doors and then out the main doors, and then the explosion is immediately after, and they hide an edit of the actor like not really there, like through the door. So it looks like it's seamless where he's literally just walking out a split second before. But it's cool in camera shit like that. This movie's
awesome.
full of it.
Speaking of slow motion walking away from an explosion, last week I was talking about the Equalizer, and there is a way too long, way too slow motion-y, and way too explosive scene of that happening in the Equalizer. Denzel Washington is just walking forever, and more things are blowing up. Like a ship blows up, and then a giant tanker blows up, and then the whole building blows up, and it's amazing. It's so fun.
It's actually, it's raining, I think, too. Yeah.
That whole scene at the Home Depot at the end. Yeah, it's so good.
It's like Home Alone for adults.
Yeah,
oh my God.
awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you stick around this long, hopefully you've seen the guest. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com and let us know what you thought of the guest.
And also what your favorite eggs are.
Yeah. What's your favorite way to prepare eggs? He's gonna say pig in a blanket, pig in a basket, eggs in a butt,
eggy in a biscuit, eggy in a basket, eggy in a basket.
Eggy in a basket. You're gonna say
from V for Vendetta.
I like an over medium on a. I like a
She's
classic.
Like, fuck.
Sorry, I had an itch. Yeah. Oh God, that hurt. I'm from Long Island originally, bacon, egg, and cheese, but now I don't do the bacon, but with a salt, pepper, ketchup as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
On the sandwich.
Took me a second. I'm like, there's salt, pepper, ketchup. Oh, salt, pepper, and ketchup.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will